I feel like I'm losing respect in my own home. My teenage son questions everything I say and has gotten to the point where I feel like I'm in constant competition for authority with my wife. Bro, I'm gonna ask the question that you're not asking. How do I get respect in my house without getting respect like a man get respect when you disrespect it? But I will say this, discipline without relationship breeds resentment.
When men feel disrespected, especially to another man.
My son, Kamar, when he was around maybe 17, the young lion meets up with the Lion King.
Sometimes mothers jump in. To her, that's her baby.
This is the reason why men don't talk crazy to each other that much.
Absolutely.
Because there's always the underlying threat of violence.
Very much
and
so.
I was gonna let him know that day, oh, I love you, son, but you about to get this one. The letter says, I'm a 47-year-old and I feel like I'm losing respect in my own home. My teenage son questions everything I say and has gotten to the point where I feel like I'm in constant competition for authority with my wife. I've always prided myself on being the leader of the household, but lately I feel more like a background character. How can I regain control and respect in my family without causing more tension? DZ, I get this. I get this question. And bro, I'm gonna help you with this one. I'm gonna ask the question that you're not asking. How do I get respect in my house without getting respect like a man get respect when you disrespect it? Okay.
Wow.
Here's my thoughts about this. Number one, when you talk about teenagers, children in general, you want them to listen to you. You want to have discipline over them. Let me be clear about something too. Discipline don't mean beat, ladies and gentlemen. That's a whole nother Oprah. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. But I will say this, that discipline without relationship breeds resentment.
Yeah.
So you want them to listen to you. You want them to all the things. But the thing about it, a teenager, their prefrontal cortex is just not developed yet. They are quite literally, and I know y'all don't like this word, but psychologists and psychiatrists and what have you, they call it a word called crazy. They're literally, like their brains are not there, bro. They're not there. So I say when dealing with them with anything, and this is the base of what I'm talking about with this conversation, you have to deal with everybody according to knowledge.
That's good.
Everybody's got to be dealt with according to knowledge. The teenager got to get a version of you that they can hear and respect. Hear and respect. And so does your wife. Now, your wife is a different scenario, but let's talk about this.
You said something about
so
the
far.
discipline. I have a statement I've always said, rules without relationship equals rebellion.
There you go.
However, being a former high school teacher, I used to say, kids stop listening to their parents at 12. Being a high school chorus teacher, I used to notice that if their mama said something, nothing. But if I said it, because I'm an outsider. So some of this in parents that got younger children up is that we say, it takes a village to raise a child. It's important to have a village around that child who at the time of teenage years that they shut off their parents' voice. You got somebody else that can technically go be there under covert operations.
Uncle Derwin, Uncle Caesar, Uncle Isaac.
You get what I'm saying? School teacher, this, that. It takes a village at that moment that can drop that nugget, So that's one thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is, as a father, time is always on your side.
Is it?
Yes. He's a teenager. He won't be a teenager always. If you lay hands on him and break his nose and respond like a man, he won't make it. That is a thing, because when men feel disrespected, especially to another man, that's a whole nother, because
it's a whole nother open.
You get your nose broke.
Let's sit here for a minute.
Yeah, because that's one thing in learning about disrespect as a man is being able to process, you know what? In my disrespect, I feel like I could do A, B, but I'm going to see my way through this.
See what you did right there. So let's tell a story. My son Kamar, when he was around maybe 17 or so, we had that situation where the young lion meets up with the Lion King,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at him. He's looking at me,
Mm-hmm.
and I can tell
Mm-hmm.
that testosterone is surging.
Mm-hmm.
The adrenaline is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually can't stop. But by this time, I'd never experienced it before. Now, my testosterone is surging,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm the old bull.
Yeah.
He the young bull.
Yeah.
So I was able to pull up a little bit. But I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I low-key didn't want to. I wanted to give him his first dose of what happens when you say certain things to a man. This is the reason why men don't talk crazy to each other that much.
Absolutely.
Because there's always the underlying threat of violence.
Very much
and
so.
I was going to let him know that day, oh, I love you, son, but you about to get this one. And I'll be merciful with you, but it's going to hurt. So I looked at my son as he was really raging, and God put compassion in my heart, bro.
You see, A, B, C.
Let me tell you something, bro. God could put compassion in my heart because I no longer saw him, I saw me.
Now we're getting somewhere. The area that I think we're getting into this point is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
How do I deal with the disrespect but not be destructive?
How do you put the correct label on the actions that you are calling disrespect? Because not everything
is disrespect.
Everything is disrespect.
If the gun is already loaded, then everything becomes a trigger. So that's why, ABC. This is about awareness. This is about seeing some different things. This is also about communication,
Mm-hmm.
because there's, sometimes mothers jump in that moment, and that even deflates more steam out because you're trying to put up a wall barrier, and to her, that's her baby.
And let me tell you something. That's kind of what I got low-key a little bit.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I felt like that was the spirit of this.
Exactly.
That's not what the word says, but I felt the spirit of it was
you buck up, and but to mama, you her baby.
Mom protects you.
And so now you get the buck,
Mm-hmm.
and flare,
Yeah.
that entices that testosterone, but then mama say you're her baby, but you bucking like a man, but you mama baby. That's a whole different conundrum.
Mm-hmm. He said competition. He said, I'm in constant competition for authority with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not necessarily just with the kids. That may be with just life in and of itself. And I'm going to say this to you, bro, and I know this is a tough one to hear. You have to make up your mind who you are going to be.
Regardless of their external factors.
Who you
Yes.
have chosen to be. And I said this earlier in the conversation, maybe it was another episode, but you got to look at your wife in essence, kind of like a powerful tool. And she can get a lot of great, wonderful, amazing things done with that strength. It just so happens that it feels like she's turning the strength of who she is onto you, and you don't like it because you don't appreciate that masculine energy that's coming your way, or that authoritative tone that's coming your way, or that I'm not listening to you tone. But I'm telling you something, when y'all are working on a project together, my brother, that is the exact strength.
Yeah.
That is the exact energy that you need to build and to do some amazing things. So my thing is, honestly, you have to determine who you are going to be.
Yeah.
And it looks like this. I am a person that does not argue I don't argue. What are we arguing about? Here's the thing. Most of the time we argue because we're also trying to convince to ourselves that you're right, and you're trying to convince them that you're right. Just be right. Be right. Loud actions, quiet words. Let me tell you something. If you become the person that is known for always arguing, you're going to always have to argue for people to believe you.
Mm.
In your house, you always got to argue, hit walls, do all this kind of stuff for people to say, oh, wow, he must be serious. But what it looks like is, hey, babe, and I've done this before, and y'all ain't gonna like me for this. Hey, babe, we're leaving in 15 minutes. We talked about this yesterday. We got to be at church on time. We got to be at this event on time. I'm gonna leave in 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'm coming down. Babe, 5 minutes. pulling out in 5 minutes. All right, I'm coming. Babe, headed to the car, about to pull out. Let me know. All right, I'm coming. I leave. I don't make a dramatic thing about it. I just
Actions.
leave. Why? Because I said it. You understand what I'm saying? Quiet words, loud actions. Now, 5 minutes later, where you at? I'm on my way to the event. Why did you leave me? Because I said I would.
Yeah.
Quiet words, loud actions. I'm not saying do that.
This is also a situation that's calling for more boundaries.
Bro.
Boundaries is the line. I'm just saying, it's just simple. Boundaries are the lines that are necessary for the distance for me to love you and myself at the same time.
Yep. No, sir. No, sir. Say that again.
Boundaries are the lines that are drawn in the distance that's necessary for me to love you and myself at the same time.
Yes.
So this situation right now is based off the boundaries. Now, boundaries are relative based off what's being said, what's being done.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a natural law of consequences. If they don't know boundaries, this father, you need to get it. Henry Cloud, there's a boundary for parents. There's a boundaries for marriages. There's some boundaries have to be, because you can't, you 14, 15, whatever, mama got her way, how that's moving, but you can't have your boundaries. And here's one thing as a man that I'm very learning more so. You have no opportunity and no right to control anybody else. But you can set your pace and your tone, and you have to be willing to walk on your tempo alone.
So here's what it looks like. Had a girlfriend who liked to hang up the phone on people. I said, babe, you can't hang up the phone on me. I don't like that. Got into a heated tiff, hung up the phone, broke up with her that day. Didn't look back. That's what a boundary is. So you say in your relationship, babe, we don't argue with each other. We don't tell each other to shut up. We don't call each other stupid. We don't do that. So if she decides, my brother, that that's what she's going to do and go handle you that way, quiet words, loud actions. Make it clear. Hey, you can't talk to me like that, babe. I already had that conversation. I can't stick around and be in a relationship with you talking to me that way. And if you want me to do something, I'm willing to do it. But we're gonna talk like we got some sense. We're not doing that. Well, you can't. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna be out here cutting the grass.
Boundaries. Henry Cloud.
Yep. So when we think about authority, when we think about relationships and respect, hey, bro, you have to determine who you are going to be and be that. Hold your frame. And I promise you, and I keep saying that because I'm going to end with this. You have to put your roots in the ground and be solid, stable, and secure, because everything else is going to be hanging from the tree that you are. And just imagine if your wife, she wants to swing from your tree in her femininity because you're sturdy. You're not going anywhere. You do what you say you're going to do. She believes in you. But guess what? If every time she hooks up that swing and want to get in her femininity, she falls down and hurts herself because you're not rooted and grounded, guess what? She's going to stay in her masculine. She's not going to get in her feminine. She's always going to keep trying to figure it out. She's going to not only try to figure out for her, but she's going to figure out for you as well. So you have to determine who you're going to be and be the best version of yourself before, if she got 95% of the messing up and you got 5%, I say it all the time, bro, you can't even touch her 95 till you deal with your 5. Then we deal with that. And it's not, you're not wrong, she's not wrong, but how y'all relate to each other is wrong. Don't make her the enemy, she don't make you the enemy, and you'll win. We can talk about this all day long, but you get it.